Hey, this is Justin Gilman with Quantum Leads, and today I'll be walking through your digital marketing attack plan to show you how you can turn your website into a lead generation machine and really generate some revenue for your business month over month. Now, if you take a look at the top here, we're looking at roofing in Tampa, which generates about 1,600 searches every single month. Now, obviously, there's a lot more searches out there when you factor in, searches like roof installation or roofing near me. But for the sake of time in this video, we're just going to focus on the search term roofing Tampa and the 1,600 searches that it generates per month. So let's talk about how we could turn those 1,600 searches into revenue for your business. We are on your website, and the first thing I notice is that you have a very visually aesthetic website. However, from an SEO perspective, there's a lot of things that we can improve on to really increase your search appearance across search engines like Google. So first thing we're going to talk about is internal search engine optimization. Now, in this case, that's just anything that we can do to improve your website from within the website itself. Now, normally when you hear that term, you're normally going to hear things like title tags, heading tags, local business schema. But for the sake of this video, we're just going to focus on the two most important things, which are content and keywords. Now, first off, let's talk about content. Why is it so important? So, content is really important because it gives users something to interact with, and when a user has something to interact with, they tend to have a positive user experience. Now, when they have that positive experience, they're more likely to come back to your website in the future or use Google for future searches. So it makes sense that Google would promote a website that's very contentful as they promote a positive user experience. So normally I like to recommend about 750 to 1,000 words on any given page. Obviously, you could tinker around with that and go higher. But like I said, 750 to 1,000 is normally my recommendation because that's about the ratio where it's not too much content and you still have that visual aesthetic, but you do still have a content-full website. Now you may be saying to yourself, well, Justin, why don't I just throw up a website with 5,000 words and call it a day? And while that sounds like a good idea, it doesn't work because we have to make sure that our content is relevant. And the way we do that is with keywords. Now, keywords are the most used words or phrases on a web page. And based on these keywords, we're going to tell Google information about our business. Things like what industry we work in, where we do work, or, what's our location. And lastly, what is our brand or who are we? So let's take a look at your keywords and see if they answer those questions for Google or see how we can optimize them to answer those questions. So here we are on a tool I like to use called Keywords Everywhere. And if we scroll down here, you're going to see your most used keywords. Now, for the sake of time in this video, we're just going to focus on the top 6 to really harp in and tell Google what we want or what they should know about our business. So let's start off with number 1 and 2. Number 1 and 2, I like to recommend very industry specific keywords. So roof is really great. Roof or roofing would work in that number 1 spot. And then number 2, I always recommend some sort of modifier to that first keyword. So if you have roof at number 1, home is a good modifier, or maybe even, installation or repair, depending on the keyword that you want to appear for. Now, number 3 and number 4, I always recommend putting your location, number 3 being your city, and number 4 being your state. That way you can tell Google where you do business and really help them drive that local traffic. And number 5 and number 6, I always recommend your brand. It's always important to have your brand in there just because people think that they automatically rank number 1 because they own the domain. However, that's not always the case because oftentimes you have a business with a similar name or even the same name in the United States or across the world. So, really important that we rank for our brand as well. That way, customers can find us all across the globe. So, just a quick recap: number 1 and 2, industry specific keywords; number 3 and 4, location based keywords; and number 5 and 6, we want our brand in there. So, let's take a look at one of your competitors and see what they're doing as far as content and keywords go. So here we are at Tampa Roofing, and they rank on the first page organically for roofing services in the Tampa area. And obviously, it helps that they have an exact match domain, but it's not something to worry about because we can always go in and outrank them with a strong SEO strategy. So let's see how we can do that first by checking out their content. On this page alone, they don't really have a lot of content, and that's going to work in our favor because we can always build out more content to outrank them. But let's see what type of keywords they're using because sometimes people are able to sneak in keywords through images or other ways. So let's take a look at the keywords that they're currently using. So here we are once again at Keywords Everywhere. If we scroll down here, you'll notice that we have their main keywords. They have roofing at number 1. Then immediately they went to Tampa. So that's something that I really wanted to harp on was that location-based keyword. Like I said, that's really going to help us drive local traffic. I recommend it at number 3. Obviously, they put it at number 2. So you see the importance of having that location-based keyword. Then they have company, roofing company, systems, all these other different keywords. I would recommend not using all of their keywords because this list is not fully optimized, but kind of using a mixture of this list as well as the recommendations that I gave you in order to create the strongest keywords possible. So Definitely something to think about. Use this as kind of a reference for your own keywords. However, let's go back to your website and talk about external search engine optimization and how that relates to your website. So now we're talking about external search engine optimization, or essentially backlinking. And on the surface, very simple, just a link from one website to another. However, from an SEO perspective, there's a lot more that's going on. So when a website links to another, you're essentially saying that I trust the information that comes from this website, or I trust this business. Now, that's really important because it acts as a reference to Google, like I said, telling them that you trust this website or the information coming from it, and ultimately that can result in a boost in our rankings or our SEO power. Now, it's really important that we get quality backlinks from quality websites because just like a website can tell Google that we are a quality source, a website can also tell Google that we are a spammy source or a harmful website. So, really important that we focus on the quality of our backlinks because oftentimes I see people go on Fiverr, purchase $50 worth of links, get 10,000 backlinks, throw them all on their site just to watch it crash 50 positions. And that's no mistake because, like I said, harmful websites can damage our ranking structure. So, really focusing on the quality. Let's go to a tool I have called Ahrefs and take a look at your current backlink structure. We are in Ahrefs, and as you'll see, we have your homepage plugged in here, which generates a 21 UR, a zero point 0.3 DR, generates you about 875 organic users every single month, and has a traffic value of around $3,000. Now, what do all these metrics mean? So, first off, let's talk about UR and DR. UR stands for URL rating, and what that is the individual power given to a single web page. So in this case, we're just talking about your homepage and the power that it generates. However, DR, on the other hand, stands for domain rating, and what that is the power that goes through your entire website. So not just talking about the homepage anymore, but all these mobile home roofing pages, commercial roof coatings, all those pages stored in one is domain rating or DR. So definitely really important that we have the strongest of both metrics along with our internal SEO to create some strong ranking results. However, let's talk about traffic value. How do they assess this value? Now, traffic value is a stat that's measured by the buyer intent of each individual keyword that a user comes from. So, to give you an idea, let's talk about the difference between somebody looking up, roof or roofing or roof repair. So, somebody looking up roof might be looking for a roof installation, a roof repair, but they also might just be looking for pictures of a roof for some other reason. So, you don't really know what they're looking for. Whereas somebody looking for roof installation or roof repair is looking for a direct service and tends to carry a lot more buyer intent because you know exactly what they're looking for. So, roof installation and roof repair tend to have a higher traffic value per user. So, based on where these users are coming from, that is how they determine the traffic value. So, let's take a look at some of your other competitors and see what type of traffic they're generating, as well as the metrics and the value that they have. So once again, we're looking at Tampa Roofing with a 28 UR, a 3.1 DR, generates about 338 organic users per month, and has about $4,000 worth of value. So obviously you see that they have a little less as far as traffic goes, but their traffic has a lot more value behind it because of that buyer intent. But let's keep working down the list here because I have another company called Westfall Roofing, and they are the #1 organic ranking company for Tampa roofing services. Now they have a 33 UR and a 23 DR, which generates about 5,000 organic users every single month, and has a traffic value of about 40,000. So you clearly see the correlation between a strong internal and an external SEO structure and the amount of value you can create for your business. We're going to look at the Google Map Pack, which is down here. And the reason this is so important is because it essentially gives businesses a second place that you can win on Google. Obviously, what we've been talking about is down below in the organic search results. But now we're looking at this map pack. And like I said, it's super important because if you can get the #1 spot in the map pack and the organic search results, you essentially guarantee that 1,600 people see your business first before looking at your competition. So a lot of potential here, but in order to get into the map pack, you first have to verify your business via postcard. And to rank in the map pack, what they're looking for is #1 that you filled out the form to 100%. That way, the more information they have, the more reputable your business looks. #2, they're looking for a strong organic presence, which is why SEO is so important because it also influences the map pack along with down below within the organic search results. And then #3, they're looking for citations. Now, citations are all the different places your business's name, address, and phone number are listed online. Some popular citations are things like Yelp, Yellow Pages, Facebook. All those are different citations you can get for your business. But let's take a look at how many citations each of these companies has and determine how many you'll need in order to go in and start outranking them along with all the other factors we talked about. So here we are in a tool I use called Whitespark, and as you'll see, we have Stay Dry Roofing with 47 citations, Quality Roofing Inc. with 11, and Rainer Roofing with 35. So I normally recommend that you double the biggest number in here. So if there's 47, we are going to need 94 citations on top of the other factors like a strong organic presence to really go in and outrank these companies. And then, like I said, you should be able to see 1,600 searches or more a month that go to your website first before looking at your other competition. So a lot of value in this video. I hope this was very educational for you. I hope this was very helpful. Once again, my name is Justin Gilman with Quantum Leads. I'd love to set up a meeting with you after this to talk about anything that wasn't mentioned in this video or maybe about any questions or concerns you have. But once again, thanks for watching.